In this video, I'll show you how I won an average of $600 per hour at roulette with the Aggressive Fisher method, a variation of the Standard Fisher method that we covered in last week's video. While the Standard Fisher method has some issues, which I analysed in the previous video, this variation addresses those problems, increasing the chances of winning in the short term, but at a cost, a significantly higher risk. Today, we'll look at how this varies for the method to have an increased risk. Welcome to Ninja Gamblers, the best place to learn how to beat casinos. Here, you can find the latest tips and strategies for roulette, blackjack, poker, slots, and much more. If you want to stay ahead of the game and maximize your chances of making big wins at the casino, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. In the description of this video, you'll find links to our Instagram page and our Telegram channel. There, we share exclusive content that never makes it to YouTube. You'll also find a list of safe, licensed casinos we recommend in each country, along with a comparison of the free money bonuses they offer. Alright folks, if you haven't seen last week's video on the Standard Fisher method, I highly recommend watching it. You can find it suggested here in the top right corner. As you might remember, the Fisher method has much lower risk compared to more aggressive methods, but it doesn't recover all the losses made. It simply tries to minimize losses, sometimes successfully, sometimes not so much. This makes it less profitable in the short term and more unpredictable. As I mentioned in the previous video, there's a solution: the aggressive variation, which is exactly what we'll explore today. This variation effectively eliminates the issues of low and uncertain short-term winnings that the basic method has. In this game I'm about to show you, I've won €80, about $85 at roulette in 8 minutes, which is an average of $600 an hour, much higher than what we did last week with the normal Fisher method. However, this method comes with a much higher risk of losing everything, so it's not for everyone. Only for those willing to take bigger risks for potentially bigger wins. You've been warned. If you prefer less risk, there are safer methods like D'Alembert or the Standard Fisher, but today we're going aggressive. As usual, I'm going to play at a safe casino in the list in the description. What's this list I'm talking about? Let me break it down for those who are new here. The internet is flooded with unlicensed online casinos that come with serious risks, potentially leading to legal and financial troubles. These casinos could be operating illegally, be prone to fraud, or have rigged games designed to drain your money. Often based in tax havens, they can disappear without a trace, leaving you unable to recover your funds. So, which casinos can you trust? We're experts in this domain and have done the legwork for you. We've created a list of verified, licensed, and fair casinos for every country, which you can find via the link in this video's description and the first pinned comment. These casinos are safe, and some even offer welcome bonuses like free cash or spins for new members. Each casino on our list has been thoroughly checked to ensure it's free of rigged games, and we update this list daily as we verify new ones. For our viewers in the USA, the legality of online casinos varies by state. Some states only allow social casinos. In the link in the description, you can find the best legal casinos for your state or the top social casinos if traditional online casinos aren't legal where you live. When recording the game you're about to watch, I was in Italy, playing at an Italian casino, so the game graphics are in Italian. However, the gameplay is the same whether you're playing in English, with dollars, euros, pounds, or any other currency. The amounts are comparable since euros, dollars, and pounds have similar values, so you can just swap the values to match your currency. Alright, let's get started. Here we are. I've set the usual balance of €100, and I'll start with a base bet of €5. Remember how the Standard Fisher method works. You'll place the base bet on a colour, stick with that colour, and keep betting the same amount whether you win or lose until you lose 4 times in a row. At that point, you triple the bet, and once you win, you return to the base bet. This is a conservative approach, but it means we never recover everything, just a portion, and we don't account for intermittent losses before the 4 consecutive losses. So, if you want to try to recover much more and even make a profit, you can use the aggressive version we're using today. Let's see it in action. It starts exactly the same. We'll place €5 on black. Today we're using black, and spin. Win. We continue with the same bet on the same colour. Lost. but we continue the same way. Same bet, same colour. Another loss. We continue the same, but remember we have 2 losses in a row now. 1, so the loss count resets. We continue like this. First loss. 1, so the count goes back to 0. Another win. And another win. So for now, the game goes on randomly, and sometimes we win and sometimes we lose. Although just by a little, we're winning more often at this point in the game, because if we start losing a lot, the Fisher method comes into play, as we'll see. Another win. Up to this point, the aggressive strategy is identical to the base. What happens when we start losing a bit though will be quite different. Okay, first loss. Second consecutive loss. Let's see what happens now. And there's the third loss. We've got 3 losses in a row. Now we begin to see the aggressive version in action. While in the standard Fisher method we wait for 4 consecutive losses, in the aggressive version we act as soon as we hit 3 consecutive losses, like now. With 3 losses in a row, we'll triple our bet on the same colour. So now I'll put €15. What happens next is also different. In the standard method, we would return to the base bet after 1 win. However, with this aggressive variation, we stay at the higher bet until we achieve 3 consecutive wins, and only then do we return to the base bet. Okay, let's see it in action. We won, but as I said, we won't go back to our €5 base bet just yet. Instead, we stay at €15 until we get 3 consecutive wins. We lost, so now we continue with €15. Ouch, lost again. We won, so we continue with the €15. Lost again. Oh no, lost again. Good, first win. Oh, lost again. Onward with €15. Dang it, lost again. Ouch folks, we're at 3 losses in a row. What does that mean? We have to triple again. Yes, sometimes this can happen even in the second round. So now we put €45 on black. In the second tripling, if we win, we go straight back. We don't wait for 3 wins. 1. Okay, so since it's the second tripling, we immediately return to the previous bet, which is our €15, and keep going until we get those 3 consecutive wins. I told you this method is risky. Okay, 1. Onward with another 15. Good, second win. 1 more and we're good. Spoke too soon, lost. So, we continue with these €15. Drat, lost again. Uh-oh, we're at 3 losses in a row again. What do we do? Yes, back to €45. Definitely riskier than the normal method, huh? But you'll see that once we start winning, the profits are bigger than the base method. Okay, we won. So since it's the second tripling, we immediately go back. And we lose again. Okay, first win. Second win, looking good. Let's get back to winning. Yay, third win. We got 3 consecutive wins, so we can finally return to our base bet of €5. Meanwhile, I want to point out where my balance stands after all this back and forth. I've reached €150, which means during this round of tripling, I not only recovered everything, but also made a profit, similar to what happens with the Fibonacci method. With the standard Fisher method, you not only fail to make a profit during tripling, but you also don't recover everything you lost. In effect, you only minimize losses. Here, by going aggressive, you can also make a profit during recovery. It doesn't always happen though, it's only sometimes. There's still an element of chance with the Fisher method. It's not mathematically certain that after a certain number of wins, you'll recover everything or make a profit, unlike with various martingale, Fibonacci or D'Alembert methods. So let's recap how this aggressive version of the Fisher method works for winning at roulette. always bet on the same colour and keep placing the base bet until you hit 3 consecutive losses, instead of 4 like in the base method. At that point, you triple the bet, but instead of returning to the base bet after the first win like in the standard Fisher method, you stay at the tripled bet until you win 3 times in a row. Once you get those 3 wins, you go back to the base bet. If you lose 3 times in a row again, you triple the bet once more, but after the second tripling, you go back to the previous bet as soon as you win to keep things from getting too risky. Essentially, it's all about threes. Wait for 3 consecutive losses, triple the bet, and keep betting the tripled bet until you win 3 times in a row, then go back to the previous bet. Easy to remember, right? Meanwhile, with the standard Fisher method, you wait for 4 losses in a row, triple the bet, and go back to the base bet after the first win. Alright, in the meantime, I've hit 3 losses in a row, so it's time to go back to €15. And now we continue with €15 until we win 3 times in a row. Okay, first win. I'm now at €150. Let's see what my balance is after this round of tripling. We've just lost €15, so before we were at 165. Okay, won. And now lost again, so back to the usual until we win 3 times in a row. Won. And lost again. Okay, won. Second consecutive win. And third consecutive win. Awesome, so we go back to the base bet of €5. This round though, as you can see, I didn't make a big win. I'm still at €150. That's because, as I mentioned earlier, this method doesn't guarantee specific wins, it's quite random. With the aggressive variation, you have good chances of recovering everything and making some extra profit. But not always, it depends on the dynamics of the game. Anyway, we go back to our €5 bets. Now we win a bit, lose a bit, but as long as there aren't 3 or more losses in a row, the losses are contained, and there's a good chance to make some profit during this period of play. Okay, let's say I reach €180 and then wrap up the video. Here it is, €180 exactly in about 8 minutes of play. Which means €80 won in 8 minutes, which is about $60 per hour average. Although I must always remind you, every play is different. This is just a mathematical average. So, compared to the winnings from last week with the standard Fisher method, it's quite clear that with the aggressive method, if things go well, the wins are more substantial and quicker. This time, we were rather unlucky, with the first tripling lasting ages. However, as you saw, the risk with this method is much higher because we're exposed by needing to get at least 3 consecutive wins with the tripled bet. Sometimes, it takes a while to get those wins, leaving us stuck on the first tripling for a long time. In fact, if we wanted to do the second tripling and stay there for 3 wins in a row, we could potentially make even more profit. But the risk would be much higher. That's why I recommend not doing it on the second tripling. And in general, keep in mind that it's a very risky method. If you lose on the second tripling, well, that's not good. Actually, there's another variation I quite like. If you want, you can replace the second tripling with a much safer bet, like an 11 streets bet, which serves as a final blocking bet. If you lose that, it's a stop loss, and you accept the defeat. In that case, it's important that instead of being a red or black bet, it's a solid bet with high winning probabilities, like an 11 street bet or a 5 double street one. Do you want a video on that? Write, make a video on the last bet variation in the comments. In general, let me know what you think of this method in the comments. I try to respond to everyone. I remind you that in the link in the description, you can find a list of safe and certified online casinos in your country and in each US state. I recommend using certified casinos if you want peace of mind and to avoid scams, rigged games, or even playing in illegal casinos in your country and having trouble with the law. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. See you soon, ninjas.